bobblehead dolls of the Mets and the Yankees. They got seats and good ones. Where can you see some of baseball's greatest plays of the week? Tips from the great players. The neatest show that catches you up in the baseball action of every week. Be sure to tune into Baseball Max. See what plays and players get the Ford Glove Award for outstanding fielding and hitting. Upcoming episodes will recap the baseball playoffs, including the World Series. Baseball Max. Check the TV listings in your country for times and channels.
Boy, they made a great replica of the Tom Seaver bobblehead doll, didn't they? One day, the Hall of Famer.
Put that 41 right on the back of it and gave him away this year at Shea Stadium. The paraphernalia that has been sold, the merchandise, here in New York City for Yankees and Mets has been astounding. Virtually every street corner, there's somebody selling either licensed or unlicensed hats, shirts, coffee cups, mugs, you name it.
Make sure it has that Major League Baseball logo on it, though.
This person's not going to give up. Apparently going to go with the front runner. Whoever's on top, that's the hat I'm wearing.
That's the one he goes with. It's a tie game, so he can go back and forth now. Yeah, there was even an article I read, Gary, about some of the counterfeit tickets that have been sold or tried to be sold.
Bud Selig, the commissioner, didn't want any part of that. They've made a number of arrests on groups that have, there's Billy Crystal with him there, that have tried to copy tickets. Tino Martinez up against Reed, and it's foul back. Luis Figueroa from Puerto Rico wanted to know in an email to us, where can I get career stats of baseball players past and present? Can anyone help me? No. Knows the answer to that, Louis. You can't get any help at all. A one strikeout. That one hit in the air to right and hard in front of Perez for a base hit. Well, one of the things you can do is get the baseball encyclopedia. You've got a big enough house. It's got every stat, every player ever. Big, huge book, about 18 times the size of the original Gutenberg Bible.
Any player that's ever appeared in a Major League game.
That's probably the most comprehensive list. You can go to Major League Baseball MLB.com too. They have stats, a lot of stats and histories on there.
They have a lot of stats on all the current players. Yep. I know that. You can check on pitchers and what they throw.
So there you go, Louis. Pitch is taken inside by Jorge Posada. Martinez on at first base, leadoff single. 4 hits for the Yankees now. The other book is called Total Baseball, that has all the baseball stats forever on it. Bobby Valentine sitting now. Rick Reed. Ball game tied at 1 apiece. Joe Torre's team with a chance to go up 3-0. Willie Randolph. He's also interviewing for Major League manager jobs, along with Chris Chambliss. We talked about the other night. 2 Yankee coaches who've already had interviews. Lloyd McClendon, the Pittsburgh manager, now named today officially. Willie Randolph had interviewed for that job.
Notice you saw Joe Torre. He'll go through some signs. He gives the signs to the third base coach. Sometimes Joe Torre decoys and it's somebody else on the bench. But then Willie Randolph, the third base coach, passes the signs along to the runner and the hitter.
2 ball, 1 strike count. And that one's going to be fouled off and into the seats.
And the reason there's a decoy every once in a while, because the opposition sometimes will try to steal those signs by looking at the manager. Well, the manager may have someone else actually on the bench giving the signs to Willie Randolph.
2-2. Martinez, 6 hits in this World Series. Now at first, Jorge Posada called out on strikes. First time up, he's 3 for 9 in the series. Posada takes the strike and can't believe it. Jorge Posada struck out again. That's 7 Ks now for Reed. 2 of them have come against the Yankee catcher.
Yeah, and he's handled a guy that had handled him pretty well. Posada came into the game 2 for 5 against Reed with a couple of home runs. Again, that fastball that starts inside and moves back, comes back over the plate. Posada can't believe it, but that's a good pitch. That's a belt-high fastball that caught the plate.
So now O'Neill up with a runner at first and 1 away. Paul O'Neill adding a double with 2 down in the second inning. O'Neill has 6 RBIs in this postseason. David Justice leads the Yankees in postseason RBIs with 12, as he had the one in this game so far for them that came in the third.
You know, this guy is such a competitor. There were a couple of times during the championship series that Joe Torre had to pinch hit for Paul O'Neill. And Joe Torre said that was real tough for him to do. Send up another hitter for a guy that's done so much for him.
1-0 deliveries away. He's a career .289 hitter, 37 years old, and another one of those clutch performers. And Joe Torre loves veterans. And when you watch this team play, you understand why. You get to the postseason, experience matters. Something the Mets do not have in postseason play, much less World Series play. 2-0 delivery. That one ripped to the gap, right center field. They were not playing him there. Martinez on his way to third. He'll score easily. Trying for the triple. O'Neill. The throw is not in time and off the stands. And O'Neill is 2 for 2, and the Yankees have a 2-1 lead. Experience.
Well, we've talked about it. The old warhorse with the sore hip. Can't turn on a lot of balls. They've been shading him into left center. Remember, his first base hit was a double down the left field line. Well, he got a pitch that he could pull. He brought those hits through on this one and yanked it into right center field. That's just some quality hitting by a quality hitter. And he ends up with a triple and an RBI.
Chased down against the wall. He had the play in front of him, O'Neill did, and took one more look and said, I can do this. He's 6 for 10 in this series now. O'Neill picks up the RBI, his second of the World Series. He doesn't get many triples. Infield moves in, and that hit him. Scott Brocious. So Brocious goes down to first, and that will bring out Dave Wallace now, the pitching coach of the Mets. Not what Reed wanted to do there.
How about a couple of guys who struggled during the regular year? Here's Brocious, just takes that pitch off the right forearm. Paul O'Neill and Tino Martinez are a combined 12 for 23 so far in this World Series.
There's Tino Martinez, who scored after picking up the leadoff single.
And that's why you can never count those guys out.
I mean, you want them playing. They are just that good. Now with one away, Reed's got runners at first and third. Everyone will be expecting the bunt here. Willie Randolph talking to O'Neill about how they want to play this. Hernandez, a strikeout victim, his first time up, 0 for 10 in plate appearances this year. He does square, and he drops a fine bunt. Reed looks, holds the runner, makes the play to Alfonso covering. It'll be a sacrifice that moves Scott Brocious down to second base with 2 away. That's
a situation where it's not a squeeze at all. All Hernandez is trying to do is drop that ball down, advance the runner from first base to second base. So as a runner at third, you kind of see where that ball goes, and then you have to kind of hold your ground. Brocious got a tremendous jump. It wasn't a great bunt, but because Brocious got such a good jump, there was no play for Reed at second base. He could only get the out at first. Hernandez had the only sacrifice bunt for Yankee pitchers this year in interleague play, and he gets one here in the World Series. Now Vizcaíno's 0 for 2, runners at second and third, and an outside corner strike to him. A hit here, and 2 runs can score. Now, a lot of people thought, Joe Torre even mentioned at the opening of this series, that Chuck Knobloch might play second base when they moved to Shea Stadium, but he's staying with a hot hand. Vizcaíno's 4 for 12 in this World Series. There's Knobloch, who does not get the start as the DH because there isn't one. This leadoff spot, though, has been a problem. Knobloch was 0 for 8 in it. Vizcaíno's 0 for 2 in it. Foul
fouls that one back. Mets haven't had any more luck with Timo Perez 1 for 12. So you put the leadoff spot people together, you get a 1 for 22 in the World Series between these two teams. Two-strike count on Vizcaino. O'Neill off third, Brocious off second. Outfield is shallow on Vizcaino. Keep that in mind in case of a base hit. Two-strike pitch laid off it up high, 1-2. The way the Mets are hitting, and they're not, Bobby Valentine knows they cannot afford to get down very far in this game. They're down 2-1 right now. One-two delivery. Vizcaino a breaking ball, foul. Count will stay at a ball and 2 strikes on him. During the regular season, Vizcaino hit only 159 when he had runners in scoring position. The Mets are going to get the left-hander Glendon Rush warming up. Valentine can't take chances. A hit right here might chase Reed in this game. Vizcaino 5 for 16 off him lifetime. Struck him out inside corner fastball that Vizcaino leaned away from. 8 strikeouts for Reed, but another run on a couple of hits with 2 base runners left on here in the 4th inning. So that ball moved back over the inside part of the plate. Yankees have the lead 2-1. Shea Stadium, Met fans waiting for something to cheer about here as the Yankees now have the 2-1 lead. Ventura had the home run for the Mets in the 2nd. The Yankees have come back with RBIs by Justice and O'Neill. A chance to go 3-0 in this 2000 World Series. Mike Piazza against Del Duque. Talked about, the world's talked about, the world's seen 1,000 times. Clemens throwing that bat at Piazza. There's actually precedent for such an incident. 1972 in the American League Championship Series Game 2. But the only time anything like that has ever happened involving Bert Campaneris, the hitter, and Laren LeGros of Detroit, who was the pitcher in that game. And a similar incident. Piazza swings and misses. Tommy, this is it.
Well, we take you back to the championship series in '72. Campaneris got hit and figured the best way to retaliate was fling that bat. That's pretty blatant. A little different situation, I think. And Campaneris was suspended for the rest of the playoffs, 5 games, and the first 7 games of the next season.
And a $500 fine. Now Roger Clemens was fined today. Piazza, that's the 2nd strikeout that Piazza has waved at that pitch. 7 strikeouts now for Hernandez.
Number 4, Robin Ventura.
Check out these pitches. He starts him with the breaking ball away. He was looking for that when he fouled it off. Then chased a high fastball. Then chases the breaking ball that Hernandez wanted to throw off the plate. He didn't want to catch the plate with that. He wanted to get Piazza to chase it, and he did.
So Piazza now 0 for 2 in this one, 2 for 11 in the series. That is a fair ball off Martinez's glove. Ventura the turn. He's not very fast. He's going to go. And the throw not in time from O'Neill. So Robin Ventura with a home run his first time up with the 1 down is on 2nd.
Yeah, I'm not so sure this ball hit the glove or hit the bag or hit a pebble or something and took another turn, went in another direction. Watch this ball. It looks like it's going to be going near the line. It hits something on the ground and kicks back the other way. So Tino Martinez was there. He thought he was going to make the play. And all of a sudden the ball hits something and kicked back the other direction.
That'll be a double. Potential tying run on at second base. It'll bring up Todd Zeile, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Zeile, who had 79 RBIs during the regular season, trying to get one here and tie this game up. Zeile will step out on Hernandez. As we said, their hottest hitter here in the World Series. Zeile takes a strike on the inside corner.
You know, Todd Zeile's been one of those hitters over his long career. He hasn't put together a lot of 100 RBI seasons, but he's going to average anywhere between 85 and 95 RBIs consistently.
33-year-old playing at first base with the Mets. First year with New York. 0-1 delivery to him, and a great pitch down and away, and an 0-2 count in a hurry on Zeile.
Of course, we had the gold medal winning baseball team here tonight. The United States baseball team. Todd Zeile's wife, Julianne McNamara, won a gold medal in 1984 in gymnastics.
Mrs. Zeile. And she comes to a lot of ball games. There's Tommy Lasorda, the manager of that gold medal team for the United States. 0-2 delivery. Oh, man, did he fool him. Zeile thought he was going to get another one of those benders down and away, and Hernandez crossed him up with a heater right across the plate.
Now, this is when you get confused as a hitter. He'd seen him throw that breaking ball away to Piazza and strike him out. Well, he goes away, but he throws the fastball. And that pitch out there, you just can't react to. It's a borderline strike, but it's been called all night. I will give Jeff Kellogg, the home plate umpire, credit. He's called that pitch. He's also called the pitch about belt high a strike all night, too.
Home plate umpire Jeff Kellogg. There are now 2 down. Agbayani called out on strikes. Takes the pitch away for a ball. Mets have stranded only one. That came in the 3rd inning on a single by Rick Reed. With the Mets having just 3 hits in the game. The homer by Ventura. Now the double, and he's on at second base. 5 have already been left on by the Yankees. El Duque with a 1-0 delivery. Right field. Paul O'Neill meanders under that and puts it away. And El Duque takes care of it right there. No runs, a base hit. A base runner left on. 8 strikeouts in the game for Orlando Hernandez, and the Mets have the trail by 1. Shea Stadium, beautiful sight. We'll be right back here. Game 4 tomorrow, 8 Eastern, midnight Greenwich Mean Time. Denny Nagel, the left-hander, has been announced as the starter for the Yankees against Bobby Jones, the right-hander, for the Mets. Hope you'll join us tomorrow night, Shea Stadium, for Game 4. And will it be a potential World Series clinch game for the Yankees? That'll depend on the outcome here tonight. Right now it's 2-1, 2-5-0 for the Yankees, 1-3-0 for the Mets. Rick Reed against Jeter, middle of the order. Justice and Williams due up.
Well, the Yankees in 1996, George Steinbrenner remembers, were down 0-2 to the Atlanta Braves. That's when they started their run of 14 straight World Series wins.
0-1 delivery, and that missed outside. 1-1. An amazing number to think when you get to the postseason, 2 best teams in the game going at one another, that you could wipe out that team in 4 games, skip a year, then come back and win 4 the very next year. Last year, win 4 more World Series, and now 2 here, so 14 straight.
Yeah, and twice doing it against a ball club that is considered one of the best ball clubs as far as pitching, the Atlanta Braves, winning the 4 straight in '96 after losing 2. And then last year winning 4 straight against Atlanta.
Many of those faces you're looking at have been around for all of it with Joe Torre and the Yankees. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Towards the hole. Knocked down Bordick. No play. It'll be an infield single. So Jeter's on with his second hit. He's 2 for 3. A leadoff single here in the 5th inning.
But I still have to like what Derek Jeter had to say. And he's been around for all those. He said you could shove those 3 rings under the door. This is the one that means the most.
For that Subway Series. Catcher cam look.
Yeah, those are the pitches that he's been able to throw to get on the inner part of the plate.
So the leadoff man is on here, and David Justice already 1 RBI with a double in the 3rd inning, leading this team with 12 postseason RBIs. Jeter at first. Torrey's in his 59th playoff game with the Yankees, and in all of those games he's had Cone, Jeter, Martinez, Nelson, O'Neill, Pettit, Rivera, and Williams. All of those Yankees have been with him for every one of those 59 games. Runner goes, hit and run, down the line, left field. Benny Agbayani in the corner, running out of room, and can't make it. It's a foul ball. It's a tough corner to play for an outfielder who's running over there, because once you get into foul territory, you only have about 2 steps you can take, and then you hit the wall.
Yeah, you know you're there, but it's also a play that Benny Agbayani makes many times, and it's a play that you think about the Mets. They've had situations where they haven't made plays. They've made some errors. Tough play, but it's a play that would have retired a David Justice, a big out.
I'll keep that in mind and see how it plays into this inning. On a play not made. There's no error or anything charged there, but
yeah, you only have about 4 feet. Once you cross that foul line, 4 or 5 feet, you know that padded wall's right near.
So Justice gets a second life. 0-1 count. The Yankees have had someone on every inning. They have now stranded 15 in game 1, 11 in game 2, and 5 more in this game. Usually when you leave that many base runners on, you would not have a 2-0 edge in a World Series. What it's meant for the Yankees is they've simply been able to get so many people on, generate enough runs to win 2 or 1-run ball games, and Met pitchers have had to work that much harder with somebody on almost every inning. Reed's working hard, closing in on 80 pitches now. Outside corner strike, 0-2.
Yeah, if you think about it, with all those men on base, the Yankees could very easily have blown out the Mets in a couple of games to lead 2-0.
31 runners have been left on so far in these 3 games. You leave on 4 to 6 in a game, that's generally about what you'll have. The Yankees way over that. 2-strike delivery. Justice lets it go. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jeter still at first with that leadoff single.
Reed will show that pitch away, but he's gotten a couple of left-handers tonight. Bernie Williams, he's gotten Posada a couple of times, starting that fastball in off the plate, and then it moves back over and catches the corner.
Each pitcher with 8 strikeouts, the 16 combined. 25 is the World Series record for combined strikeouts in a game. 1-2, and that's up high. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Justice.
He tried it there. He just got it up too high.
Tino Martinez in the hole waiting. You get the batter, the guy on deck, and then the one who's due up third in that situation is the guy in the hole, standing in the dugout, usually by the bat rack. 2-2 on Justice. 34-year-old left fielder of the Yankees. Runner goes, and he fouls it off. Joe Torre's been more than willing to send Jeter when Justice has been at the plate in this game, figuring Justice a good contact hitter, and with the jump Jeter's getting, little chance of a strike him out, throw him out double play.
So far, every time he's sent Jeter, a pitch has been fouled off, so Jeter's getting in a pretty good workout.
Comes back to first as slowly as he thinks he can get away with it in order to catch his breath. Justice has struck out only once in the series, drawn 3 walks so far. Jeter goes. Justice, towering fly ball to center. Payton will put it away, and 1 away.
Yeah, we were checking out Derek Jeter. You see that guard that he wears on his right wrist and hand. A lot of runners recently over the last 5 or 6 years have put that on. What it does, it prevents them from jamming that right hand down on the ground when they slide. A lot of runners will put that hand in the ground and will sprain a wrist or hurt a finger. Years ago, you used to grab some dirt to keep you from doing that. Some batters, some runners will grab their batting gloves. Just hold on to batting gloves. It also helps with a head first slide,
which most players use in this day and age. Bernie Williams up. The 13-year-old young man named Tom Jewell in Australia who wrote us a just pleading to say his name on the air. Said, I stay up till 2 a.m. to watch the game, so please say hi. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Tom. G'day.
G'day. Probably got neighbors there with some shrimp on the barbie. That's what we had the other night. We were talking about that.
Yeah, that was for lunch.
That was for lunch. 0-1 count. Bernie Williams up there with one down and a runner at first base. Williams 0 for 2, 0 for 9 in this World Series. I'd like to change that right here. Runner goes again. Hit and run on. Down to first. Out will be taken there. Runner will go to second base. Jeter running, so he'll take second. Williams grounds out to first.
Yeah, what that allows Joe Torre is to get a man in scoring position. Had Jeter not been running on that pitch, the first baseman, Todd Zeile, would have been able to at least get the out at second base. Wasn't hit hard enough to be a double play. But by Jeter on the move, he can only get the out at first. Now the Yankees have someone in scoring position.
Jeter at second base, and the Yankees, who have already delivered one 2-out RBI, will try for it again. Tino Martinez up there, singled and scored in the 4th inning. And away to Martinez. Continuing his fine World Series now with 6 hits, 13 at bats. And Martinez has got the RBI opportunity right here. Pretty good lead for Jeter at second base. Off-speed breaking ball misses. 2-0.
Gary, I'll tell you one of the things I've always respected Tino Martinez for. Glendon Rush gets ready, a left-hander. I know Bobby Valentine wants to get that lefty in there if possible. Is that 5 years ago when he took over first base for the Yankees, he came over from Seattle. He had to replace Don Mattingly, a well-loved, respected baseball player in New York, in baseball.
Loved in New York. That one hit in the air to center. Payton backing up on it, looking for the 3rd out, and gets it. So Reed gets the job done despite a leadoff single. No runs, 1 hit. Base runner left on at second. That's 6 now have been left on by the Yankees. They'll take it though, because right now they've got the edge.
Jay Payton.
Shea Stadium in New York, where the New York Mets are hoping to get this thing turned around. 11th World Series game ever to be played here. First time since October 27 of '86. The World Series returns to Shea. That is a true statement. However, they've not been able to do it in these 2 games against the Yankees, at least not enough to get a win.
Yeah, she has been studying and following her Mets all year, and they have done that.
2-1 Yankee lead, bottom half of the 5th inning. Orlando Hernandez, no walks and 8 strikeouts. Reed, 1 walk and 8 strikeouts. Jay Payton, the batter, bottom 3rd of the order. Payton struck out his first time up. Bordick and Reed due up. Last outing, Orlando Hernandez against Seattle in an American League Championship Series got the win, his 8th in postseason, going 7 innings, giving up 6 runs on 7 hits in the ball game. He struck out 7 in that game. His career high postseason strikeouts is 10. It came against Atlanta in the World Series last year. He has 8 so far tonight.
Yeah, that was game 1 of last year's World Series. 7 innings, had 10 strikeouts.
Payton fights it off.
Keep in mind, though, you keep it a 1-run game, and Orlando Hernandez will give up the long ball. He gave up 2 to Seattle, Alex Rodriguez and Carlos Guillen.
Architect of the Yankees, as much as you can be, Brian Cashman, GM, when you got George Steinbrenner as your boss.
Everything does go through George Steinbrenner, though.
And Joe Torre, the man who's been able to survive it. Here's well, 2-1. We'll have to wait. Hernandez started and held up. There's Steinbrenner on hand here at Shea Stadium tonight. Foul tipped into the mid. Held on to 2-2. New York Mets at home this year had the best home record in the National League. 55 wins, only 26 losses. Joe Torre's Yankees 43-38 on the road in the American League. El Duque with a 2-2 delivery. Successful manager with the Yankees.
That's why Joe Torre will say this year, because of those wins, 87. That's why he'll say this year was probably the toughest, but maybe the most rewarding.
Team that's getting a little more on the veteran side of things. A little tougher to come back when you keep winning and have long seasons. Tino Martinez saying to me yesterday, you know, he said, I said, you know, I really respect clubs that repeat in pro sports because it's so hard. Your off season virtually is non-existent. Tino said it's the toughest thing to do mentally, to come back in spring training after you've won a World Series and trying to get ready to go, because you're so tired mentally and physically. You don't have time to regroup. And for the Yankees to do what they've done in the postseason, looking for their third consecutive World Series win, is a very tough feat.
And also, I think, to try to regroup after the way they finished the regular season. They won 3 games of the last 18 games.
And have showed no signs of that in this postseason. 2-2 delivery. Breaking ball popped up at the plate. Jorge Posada. Payton retired. And the Mets continue to have those offensive woes now. They've had only 3 hits. Came in hitting .218 against Yankee pitching. And their big gun, Piazza, struck out twice.
Their leadoff guy hasn't been able to ignite things. Timo Perez.
One down to Mike Bordick up. Bordick flied out his first time up to left field. And the Mets shortstop takes it away for a ball.
Yeah, they haven't been able to put together any extensive run scoring barrages in 22 of the 25 innings in this series. The Mets have not scored.
And not even had anybody on. I mean, the Yankees are getting people on to make it tougher on pitchers. Bordick takes the fastball. And the Mets, as we said, have not. They've only had 2 on base, 1 in scoring position left on in this game. Ventura's had the homer in the double, a single by Rick Reed, the opposing pitcher. Those are the 3 hits. The Yankees have 6 hits. El Duque's fastball is right there in the outside corner, 2-1.
Of course, there was a time Mike Bordick and Scott Brocious, who's out there at third base for the Yankees, were teammates. They were teammates for about 6 years with Oakland.
2-1 count. And that one off the fists and a base hit just out of the reach of Vizcaino. Talk about muscling a ball for a hit. That's what Bordick did. He's on with a 1-out single, his first hit of the World Series.
Well, he's hit a couple of balls pretty well. Remember, he hit a deep fly ball to left field his first time up. Didn't get good extension on this, but got the good part of the bat on it. Looked like Vizcaino was there, but the ball went under the glove as he was making a dive for it.
Rick Reed with 1 down. Now Reed had a single, but the Yankees think he'll bunt here, and with good cause, to try and get a runner to second. And he is the best bunter on the Mets team. 14 sacrifices during the year. That's where he wanted that one to go. Martinez makes the flip to Vizcaino. That will move Bordick into scoring position with a potential tying run and 2 down.
Excellent job to perfection by Rick Reed. What you try to do, you love to get that bunt up the first baseline because the third baseman can charge. The first baseman has to wait because there's a runner on. So if you make him field the ball, the only play for him is to throw to that second baseman who comes over to cover first. Here's everybody rotating. There's the second baseman. First baseman comes in. There's the only play.
Now the Mets need the big 2-out hit. Reed gets his job done, getting the runner down to second. Perez is up against Orlando Hernandez. He has struck out and flied out. 1 for 12 in the series for the rookie right fielder. Bordick a good lead. The off-speed breaking ball is in for a strike to Perez,
who was an absolute sensation. Perez in the NLCS hit over 300, scored 8 runs, so he really got things going for the Mets against the Cardinals.
Now the Mets looking for the base hit here to get this ball game tied up. And Perez fouls it off, pulled it way foul outside of first.
Let's see what Hernandez's approach is now that he's ahead 0-2. Remember, we talked about that scouting report, how you don't want to give Timo Perez too much to hit in the strike zone. He has an opportunity now with a couple of pitches to make a couple of pitches that are out of the strike zone to entice Perez to chase him.
0-2 count. Timo Perez just got to protect the plate on this pitch. Leaned way out over it and hoped he wasn't going to hear the call, strike 3.
He can't. El Duque can't believe that, number 1, he didn't swing, and number 2, that he maybe didn't get a strike call. But that's where he wanted to put it. He thought Timo Perez would chase it.
1-2 delivery. Foul back by Perez.
Up and out of the strike zone.
Out of the Dominican Republic, San Cristobal, where he is from, had an inside the park home run this year at Philadelphia. That's the kind of speed he brought to the Mets in the 24 games he played with them, hitting .286 during the season. He's got an RBI chance with Bordick, and again takes the pitch outside. 2-2. So Perez is learning, not chasing, demanding a strike be thrown before he'll swing. But having to learn under a pressure cooker situation.
Yeah, this is a severe on-the-job experience.
Fans chanting Timo. Here's the 2-2. Timo rips it and foul.
And I think you talk about on-the-job experience. You can apply that to Orlando Hernandez. Pitching in Cuba, a lot of pressure-filled ball games, a lot of games where there was single elimination. If his club lost, they were out, and so I think that's another reason he's pitched so well in postseason.
El Duque from Cuba facing Timo Perez from the Dominican. 2-ball, 2-strike delivery. 3 times fighting off pitches here to keep his at-bat alive at 2-2. Cookie Rojas, third base coach. Talk about international play. Cookie, one of the game's all-time great infielders. He's got numbers up there from non-U.S. born players. He too from Cuba, as is El Duque. Mike Bordick from Maine. 2-2 delivery. Now, a lot of people think Maine's actually a foreign country. It's a state located in the northeastern quadrant of the United States on the Canadian border.
Well, and it is to some who think about baseball being played up there. I tell you, this has been a very patient at bat for Timo Perez. Hernandez has pitched him the way a lot of pitchers have, expecting him to chase. He's been very patient. He's gotten the count to 3-2.
This is the 9th pitch of this at bat. 3-2 count, 2 down. Bordick at second base. Yankees lead it 2-1. Three-two delivery. Breaking ball. Drew a walk. There is the first walk the Mets have picked up in the game, and just the second walk in this World Series.
Remember how a great at bat the other night by Paul O'Neill got things going for the Yankees against Benitez. 10 pitches. If the Mets go on to score with 2 out here in this inning, you got to think about this at bat that Timo Perez had. Again, very patient. Hernandez tried to get him to chase that breaking ball, the curve ball on the outer part of the plate, just off the plate, and he wouldn't bite.
Here is the Mets' best hitter with runners in scoring position, 7th best in the National League at .341 during the year. The Yankees have been able to come through in these situations in the first 2 games to pick up important RBIs with 2 down. The Mets have got to do that. They're going to challenge here and put a win away in game 3. And here's the man they would want up there in this situation, Edgardo Alfonzo. Alfonzo swings and foul tips it into the mid, strike 1. Alfonzo's 0 for 2 tonight. He is 2 for 13 lifetime off Orlando Hernandez.
Notice Hernandez here the last couple of innings going with a few more of the curveballs and sliders. Early in the game threw a lot of fastballs.
Bordick at second base, Perez at first, and Alfonzo, he throttled back on that pitch even more, and it's a 2-strike count.
This one a little harder breaking ball, the slider, which moves away.
Now he's got Alfonzo right where he wants him. 0-2, 2 down. Boy, you talk about a late swing. He had a clutch and a half on that one because he wasn't going to swing at it, and then said, oh, I better go after this.
That's almost picking it out of the catcher's mitt. And you're right. He was fooled, but he knows if he takes it, it might be called strike 3. So at the last minute, he just tries to get a piece of it, foul it off, and stay alive. The good hitters do that.
Bordick and Perez with their leads at second and first. Second 2-strike delivery to Alfonzo, and he struck him out. 9 strikeouts. 2 of them have come against Alfonzo. Mets will leave 2 on, and they've been held scoreless in 23 of the 26 innings in this series. And El Duque, with magnificent pitching, protects the 1-run Yankee lead. It's the site of Major League Baseball's gala, as Major League executives, team executives, on hand last night in that beautiful building that's been restored over this past year. Great to have you with us, Gary Thorne, Tommy Hutton, and our Major League Baseball International crew. It's a 2-1 ball game. The Yankees 2 up in the series and 2-1 up in this game as we go to the 6th. Rick Reed to Jorge Posada. Yankee catcher has been called out on strikes twice. 3 for 10 in the series. Switch hitter. Rick Reed has walked 1, struck out 8. The Yankees have the big hits, the RBI by Justice and the other by O'Neill.
Yeah, O'Neill with a big night so far, a double and a triple.
Jeter, Martinez, the 2 who scored. Breaking ball foul back off Reed, 1 and 2. Want to say hello to Vinny Cassano, who grew up on Staten Island here in New York. The borough most people forget when trying to name the boroughs of the city. He's in Rota, Spain. Congratulations. Baby was just christened over there. He and his wife and new daughter send hellos to us, Tommy, and we do so back.
Well, we appreciate that.
looking at the book that has the notes on the hitters he faces in the Mets lineup. He went in unhappy about one of the hitters he faced, felt he pitched him wrong. Probably Mike Bordick, who got the single. Went over to Billy Connors, the pitching coach, talked to him, talked to Torrey, then went to the book. Just kind of going, geez, I shouldn't have done that. I knew better.
Might have been Bordick or Timo Perez.
Yep. That one to left field, Benny Agbayani. Jorge Posada one away.
The right fielder, number 21, Paul O'Neill.
Could be 9-0 in postseason play if he gets the victory in this game. He is the first pitcher in Major League history to go 8-0 in his first 8 postseason decisions. So if he can do that, he'll just add to his own record. Paul O'Neill, double, triple, RBI. 6 for 10 in the World Series now for Paul O'Neill. Ian Martinez putting up the best averages for the Yankees so far in this 3-game set. There is Tino, 2 of the veterans, of course. O'Neill 37. Tino Martinez 32. 0-1 delivery. O'Neill's a .289 career hitter. Martinez a .273 career hitter. O'Neill, who was a magnificent hitter in the National League when he was with the Cincinnati Reds, came to the Yankees and got even better. We noted earlier Tino Martinez, as Tommy said, had to come in for the great Yankee Don Mattingly, took his spot quietly and has been outstanding at first base. And he chases that one down and in, 1-2.
Yeah, when Paul O'Neill was with the Cincinnati Reds, he played for Lou Piniella. And he credits Lou Piniella, the former Yankee player and the Yankee manager and Yankee everything. Actually, Lou filled a lot of roles. He credits Lou with helping him generate some power and getting a little leg kick, getting the hits through. And ever since he came to the American League with the Yankees, he's had more power and he's hit for a better average than he did with Cincinnati.
Reed came inside with a fastball, and O'Neill fought it off for a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Rick Reed went 5-3 at home, 6-2 on the road. Actually had a little better ERA at home, not by much though, 4.08 to 4.13. Opposing hitters were 266 off him, left-handers 273, right-handers 260. Control pitcher so far has walked only 1 in this game, and it did not come back to bite him in the first inning. On the other hand, he has not retired the side in order yet, and we're in the 6th.
Yet if you're Bobby Valentine, you couldn't have asked for any better of an effort from Rick Reed. He's done his job. He's held the Yankees to 2 runs so far. He's kept the walks down.
2-2 to O'Neill. Hit hard, second base. Edgardo Alfonzo with an all-star play.
Would have been very exciting had Paul O'Neill got a single on that. He'd have had a single, double, and triple with a chance to hit for the cycle. A cycle is if you hit a single, double, triple, and home run in one game, but he's robbed by Edgardo Alfonzo. It made that look easy, and that was a tough play.
Ball was hit hard.
Look at the reactions by Edgardo. Has a chance to be a Gold Glove winner this year. The award given to the players who play the best defense in their positions.
Scott Brocious pops that up behind second base. Little struggle with it here. It'll be put away by Alfonzo. Bordick thought he might have a play, but it kept drifting over. So there's the first 1-2-3 inning for Rick Reed in this game. Yankees down. We go to the bottom of the 6th. The middle of the Met order will be coming up. Mr. K, El Duque, 9 in the game.
Well, and check out as you watch these strikeouts the different angles that he delivers. Good fastball there. Drops down with the slider to get Piazza. That time he dropped down with a fastball. Another fastball on the outer part of the plate. Up high with a good fastball. He uses an assortment. Second time he got Piazza with the breaking ball. Zeal now frozen with the fastball. Man, this guy's tough, and you can see why he's so difficult for hitters to pick up his delivery.
He has struck out as many as 13 in a game, his career high. Twice did it last against Seattle. Down the line, that is a fair ball. Mike Piazza touched by a fan. Fan reached out, touched it right there. So Piazza will go down to second base. And a leadoff double after he had struck out twice.
Well, the last time up, remember, Piazza really jumped on a breaking ball and fouled it back. He's looking for that breaking ball again, and he gets it. Has a little more of the plate. He's able to get to it, and it hits right on that chalk line. And it's on that line. Brocious saw it. He can't believe he didn't get to it. But then when he sees where it hits, he knows Piazza has himself a double.
So the Mets get a real chance to get a run. Leadoff man on to second base, and Robin Venturo's doubled and homered. Takes it up high for a ball. 5 hits now for the Mets. Yankees have 6. Mets have stranded. Total of 4 base runners, 2 of those in scoring position. Another off-speed pitch in the outside corner.
Boy, Ventura in his career 5 for 10 against El Duque.
Benny Agbayani is due up in the inning, and Zeal. Ventura looking to get this game tied. Little chin music there, 2-1. Of course, in light of the Clemens-Piazza fiasco, as they've called it, everything even close like this, automatically everyone's up and yelling and hollering and oohing and eyeing. That's just a pitch to get him off the plate.
That's just a pitch to make sure he doesn't lean too much and try to get to that outside corner.
Breaking ball on the outside corners there, 2-2.
So then he goes away with the breaking ball. That's just great pitching by Orlando Hernandez. Up and in fastball, breaking ball away.
Ventura is now 5 for 10 off Hernandez in his career. Jeter trying to keep Piazza close at second. Little harder ball outside, 3-2. He's walked only 1. Came in the 5th inning to Perez. Met fans trying to get it going. Three-2 delivery, and there's the second walk. So Ventura is on all 3 times. Billy Connors, the pitching coach.
Yeah, I really had the feeling that with Hernandez, the way he's pitched to the next few hitters, you always hate to put another runner on, especially if it's a possible go-ahead run. But he had first base open. He knew that Ventura is hitting pretty well. Home run and a double tonight. I don't think he really wanted to give in to it. But now you have to make the decision if you're Bobby Valentine. You have a hot hitter in the World Series up there, even though Todd Zeal has struck out twice tonight. Do you give him the sacrifice, or do you let him swing away? He took a long look at the signs from Cookie Rojas.
He and Piazza both grounded into 15 double plays during the season, the most on the Mets.
And that's why you might think about the sacrifice.
And he is. Tried to get it down. Now, Zeal is not used to bunting. He is not asked to lay the ball down very often. Regular season, he had no sacrifice bunts.
And not a real good attempt there.
May make Valentine rethink that strategy. 1 strike count. Piazza at second. Ventura's at first. Brocious is backed up at third. He stepped back on the grass. He thought he was going to hit, and he did. Towards the corner. That's a fair ball. Piazza will score. Coming to third, Ventura. He'll be held, and it's a tie game. An RBI double for Zeal.
Well, Joe Torre talked about it. He said Zeal's the hottest hitter the Mets have in this series. He got a hanging breaking ball. That slider, notice how Posada wanted it off the plate or wanted it away. The ball stayed over the middle of the plate, and Todd Zeal hammered it into that left field corner. He is hot.
First World Series RBI. Mets bench celebrating. It's tied at 2. And Billy Connors, after seeing that and the revved up crowd, wants to both quiet the crowd and Orlando Hernandez as he goes to the mound.
Yeah, it's interesting with Todd Zeal. He was 1 for 14 in the National League Division Series. He had a real hot championship series against the Cardinals. He hit .368, had 8 RBIs, and he's been able to stay hot here in the World Series.
Jeff Nelson, right-hander. Mike Stanton, left-hander.
Couple of mistakes by Orlando Hernandez in this inning. The breaking ball that Piazza hit for a double was out over the plate. You saw the breaking pitch to Todd Zeal. Up, out over the plate.
Now there are 2 in scoring position. Piazza kicked it off with a double and has scored. Ventura's gone to third. Zeal to second on the 2-bagger. Benny Agbayani, 0 for 2 in the game, has hit successfully. 11 post game hit streak. Fouls the fastball back, strike 1.
Interesting alignment that they have in the infield. The left side is playing back, Brocious and Jeter. So a ground ball to the left side, Ventura can score. The right side of the infield, Vizcaíno and Martinez are playing in. So any ground ball to the right side, Ventura will probably hold because nobody's out right now.
Agbayani 2 for 11 in the series. His job is to get that run in from third base now with nobody out. Base hit, fly ball, whatever it is. Got to score that run from third, which would give the Mets the lead.
And we talk about that contact play. As soon as the batter makes contact, their runner from third will come. But with nobody out, you usually don't put it on. You want to give that next hitter a chance, too.
1-1. Bad swing at a good breaking ball. 1-2. Couple of the rules of baseball. You don't want to make that first out at third or home. That's what Tommy's talking about here. If you send the runner on a ground ball automatically and he gets thrown out, you've given up that lead runner at third. Let him stay there, because if there's one down, you still get a good chance to get him home.
And the other thing to remember, Robin Ventura doesn't have real good speed.
Agbayani 1-2 count. A strikeout victim his first time up, then flied out his last time. And he'll step out on Hernandez.
Of course, there are all kinds of things to think about. If Hernandez can get Agbayani out, first base is still open. They could walk Payton to then pitch to Bordick with the pitcher coming up next.
And Valentine might pinch hit right there.
Oh, he would.
1-2 delivery outside with a breaking ball. 2-2.
You mean for Bordick?
For Bordick.
Yes.
Those are the things managers think about now, not then.
Yeah, they have to think 2 or 3 hitters away.
2-ball, 2-strike count. Ventura off third, Zeal off second. Game tied at 2. Each team with 6 hits. Ventura represents potential go-ahead run for the Mets. Agbayani 2-2. Tried to get him to chase one. He wouldn't do it. 3-2.
You can't imagine the magnitude and the momentum shift if the Mets were able to win this game and beat Orlando Hernandez, a guy who's never lost in postseason.
Steps out. Ventura will go back to the bag. The only time the Mets have led in this series, 3-2, game 1. They never got back from the deficit in game 2. Again, the 3-2 delivery. Agbayani fights it off. That'll send Jorge Posada out to talk with his starter to make sure he knows what he wants to throw and where he wants to throw it.
You don't want any mistakes or cross-ups on this pitch.
Again to Benny Agbayani, and he walked in to load the bases as Agbayani, with a quality at bat, would not chase 3 of those breaking balls down and away.
Well, we've seen some more patient at bats from the Mets in this inning. Hernandez still trying to get them to chase that breaking ball off the plate, and they haven't. And the ones that he's left out over the plate, they've hit for extra base hits.
Fred Wilpong, the owner, co-owner of the New York Mets, standing. His wife next to him. Bases loaded. 2-2 game. 6th inning. Jay Payton. Payton with the bases loaded during the regular season at 1 grand slam. He went 2 for 21 with the bases loaded. And a strike in the inside corner.
Well, he hit a big home run to right field the other night. Game 2 against Mariano Rivera.
See, it's a grand slam here. We'll just stop talking because you won't hear us anyway. Still nobody out. The infield back in the middle, up at first and third. 0-1 delivery. Check swing. He went around on a pitch way over his head. That's the kind of patience you've got to have, and Payton didn't have it.
And it always becomes tougher with bases loaded in that situation. You saw the numbers on Payton, not very good. He's a rookie. A lot of times rookies are a little overly aggressive in that bases loaded situation.
Bordick is on deck. Will he hit? Oh, 2 count. Payton just fouls it back. So the Mets offense has picked the pace up here. They only had 3 of their first 16 hitters on base. Now 6 of the last 8 have reached. But it's still just a 2-2 game. Payton talking to himself, and he's talking about being patient. Trouble is, he's got a 2-strike count, so he's also got to protect the plate. Can't let a pitch go by if he even thinks it might be a strike. Ventura, Zeal, and Agbayani, the base runners. Stepping off, Hernandez. Jay Payton, 27 years old, but because of injuries in previous years, just a rookie. Now in the lenses of the world. Oh, 2 delivery to him. 1-2.
Yeah, safe to say with the ability that Jay Payton has, he led all National League rookies in hits. He would have been to the major leagues sooner, probably 3 or 4 years ago, had he not had all those injuries. 3 elbow surgeries. He had surgery on his shoulder.
Mets waited and waited and waited year after year after year for Payton to be healthy, and finally this year he was. 1 ball, 2-strike delivery to him with the bases loaded. He struck him out. Chased another one down and away. 10 strikeouts in the game for Orlando Hernandez, and 1 away in the inning.
Well, there's him chasing that pitch that Hernandez wanted to throw. He wanted it off the plate. And here's that situation that we actually talked a little bit to Bobby Valentine about this evening before the game. If he had a situation in a close ball game with Bordick coming up, because Bordick has struggled so much. Would he pinch hit for him? I'll tell you what I think changed his mind. Bordick hit a ball well in the 3rd inning, hit a deep fly to left field, and he singled in the 5th. And I think that may have swayed Valentine just a little bit.
Bordick will hit. Yankees have a discussion about how they'll pitch it. The infield will look for a ground ball to turn a double play.
You talk about a baseball game and how momentum can shift from inning to inning. If the Yankees were to get out of this inning and it's still 2-2, even though the Mets have come back and tied it, the momentum would be with the Yankees.
Mike Bordick, bases still loaded, but now 1 down. And he takes it inside for a ball. Bordick had an 0 for 4 with the bases loaded with the Mets during the regular season. Rick Reed, the pitcher's on deck. Another question mark. If the Mets don't get a run or only get 1, would you pinch hit for the pitcher at this point?
I think you have to.
Wendell's ready. 2-2 game, 6th inning. Mets have tied it in this inning.
Well, the World Series has been full of middle infielders that have been heroes. Mike Bordick's a middle infielder.
Lifetime numbers against Orlando Hernandez with the 1 for 2 in this game. Breaking ball. Boy, tied him up on that one. Had the old jelly legs going on the 1-1. He started, and then that pitch broke on him and the legs wobbled.
And that really tells you that he's looking for the fastball. He's ready to get the fastball. He thinks it's a fastball, and all of a sudden that breaking ball paints the outside corner.
Great pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bordick swings and misses way out in front of that one. 1-2. He started walking away like with strike 3.
We've seen him get fooled on a pitch like that and then chase a pitch like that. What do you think that Hernandez will throw him here? I don't think he's going to throw him anything that gets any part of the plate. He's going to try to get him to chase something else.
You got to believe the World Series really is on the line here in this inning. 1-2 delivery outside.
He tried.
2-2 on Bordick. I mean, this is by far the best chance the Mets have had in the 3 games to have a big inning. Orlando Hernandez with 57 pitches in the first 4 innings. He threw 26 in the 5th, and he's thrown 25 in this inning. So the Mets have made him work, but they've only got 1 run on the board to show for it. They've got the bases loaded, 1 away. They had the bases loaded with nobody out. Didn't get a run there. Man, oh man, how do you take that?
That's a pitch that's been called a strike for a good part of this evening. And I think Hernandez thought he had one. There's the fastball. It moves back. Posada holds it. Man, how could he take that? I think Jeff Kellogg, the home plate umpire, may have been fooled on that. That's a pretty good pitch.
Up to 109 the game. 3-2, 1 down, bases loaded, game tied. 2-2. Mike Bordick. Now the center of attention for the Mets. 3-2 delivery to him, and he struck him out. Orlando Hernandez reacting to it as Posada throws the ball back to him. He has struck out 2 with the bases loaded.
Say, Bobby Valentine's going to second guess himself about not pinch hitting a left-handed batter for Bordick. Darrell Hamilton's going to pinch hit now. I mean, he had Hamilton set up. He also had maybe Lenny Harris.
So Rick Reed has completed his job as he will go back into the dugout in this ball game, having worked 6 innings as the starter. The Yankees picking up 2 runs on 6 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 8. And Darrell Hamilton with the bases loaded, pinch hitter, but now there are 2 down. Hamilton 0 for 2 with the bases loaded during the season. He's not had many at bats in the post. 2 for 7. 2 away. I mean, you talk about slamming the door in your face. If Orlando Hernandez gets out of this inning with the bases having been loaded and nobody out, you'll hear that door crashing shut.
And it's going to get real quiet here, too.
One strike count and a timeout taken as Hamilton backs out. Hamilton has never faced Orlando Hernandez. The 0-1 delivery and a ground ball to short. A force at second. Jeter, and they do it. What a job by Orlando Hernandez. Bases loaded, nobody out. He strikes out Payton. He strikes out Bordick. Pinch hitter Hamilton hits into a fielder's choice. And the Mets leave them full in the 6th inning, getting just 1 run on 2 hits. Game tied at 2. 2-2 ball game. 2-6-0 for each team after 6 innings in Game 3 of this 2000 World Series. Rick Reed, the starter, out of there for the Mets. 33-year-old right-hander Turk Wendell on in relief.
A lot of sliders. If you're a hitter, that's what you expect from Turk Wendell. He'll throw a few fastballs, sink them. He'll go right after Orlando Hernandez.
What a job by Orlando Hernandez in that 6th inning. He has now struck out 11 and bunting or trying to for a base hit. Strike 2 on him.
And again, just to bring up the point that I mentioned before, he was able to retire the 3 hitters with bases loaded. It's a tremendous shift of momentum for the Yankees, even though the Mets were able to come back and tie the game.
0-2 delivery by Turk Wendell is swung on and missed. So Wendell comes on and gets the strikeout against Hernandez, who has struck out twice and sacrificed. 1 away. We're in the 7th inning. Wendell gets the first out. Now will face top of the order with Jose Vizcaino coming up. See that logo right there, the office of the commissioner? You know why you were looking at that? Because this copyrighted telecast is the property of the office of the commissioner, Major League Baseball, intended for the private non-commercial use of our audience.
That man right there.
Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is prohibited. Jose Vizcaino's had an 0 for 3, 4 for 13 in the series. And a grounder foul outside of first.
Yeah, it's interesting with Vizcaino. All 4 hits came in Game 1 when he was 4 for 6, had that game winner. He was hitless in Game 2, and he's hitless so far tonight.
1 for 5, lifetime off Turk Wendell. He'll be followed by Jeter. 1 ball, 2 strike count. And again, right off the fists. Well, Orlando Hernandez continues to make postseason history. There's Dennis Cook, the left-hander for the Mets in the bullpen. I mean, he came in here with that magnificent 8-0 mark in the postseason, and the job he did in the 6th inning, should he go on and get a win, or even if he doesn't, but especially if he does, I mean, he's building some kind of history. Good fastball by Wendell. He's got 2 strikeouts. So the leadoff spot in this game is now 1 for 24 for these 2 teams. Not in this game, in this series.
Well, it's a night of the strikeout, too. Rick Reed had 8. Wendell coming on, getting a couple. Good fastball there. A lot of movement.
2 down, nobody on. 7th inning. Derek Jeter coming up. Remember, the combined high in a World Series game in strikeouts is 25. We're 4 shy of that. Pitch is taken inside for a ball.
They have a real good chance.
Real good chance where it's going right now. Jeter continued his hit streak tonight. 2 singles. He's hit safely in 12 consecutive postseason games. The all-time mark held by Jeter and Hank Bauer. Both of them Yankees. Hank Bauer did it going back to World Series play in 56, 57, and 58. Jeter's done it continuing 98, 99, and into 2000. Longest postseason batting streaks. Here's the 2-0 delivery to Jeter, and that one is taken inside. Jeter's trying to get on for Justice, who has delivered an RBI back in the 3rd inning. 3-0 count, and he walked. No, sorry. Inside corner, 3-1.
Now you talk about getting on too, Gary. Here's a guy 26 years old. He's playing in his 59th postseason game, and in 54 of those games he's gone on base at least once.
It's amazing. But that's the caliber of the Yankee shortstop, and he walks him there. So Turk Wendell surrenders a 2-out walk here in the 7th inning. Now he will have to face David Justice.
The left fielder,
of course, you get on base, and a lot of times you're going to score. In 5 years in a row, Derek Jeter scored over 100 runs.
Our in-game box score, you see the runs scored in this one, Jeter and Martinez. The RBIs have gone to O'Neill and Justice. Now Justice will get a shot at it again. There's Paul O'Neill.
And don't be surprised to see Jeter on the move again.
Situations continued throughout this game. G got on with a 3rd inning single. He was running when Justice was at the plate. Led off the 5th with a single. He was running with Justice up again. Here we go again. Well, Dave Wallace out. They have the left-hander ready.
Yeah, we saw Dennis Cook warming up, and you would think that would probably be the move. There goes the motion by Dave Wallace to bring in the left-hander to face David Justice, even though he's hit left-handers a lot better recently than he's been hitting right-handers.
Justice is 0 for 2 in the times he has faced Wendell. He is 1 for 4 in the times he has faced Dennis Cook. But as they say, they're going by the book, where the numbers are supposed to favor the left-handed pitcher against the left-handed hitter. Good one going. Game 3, 2000 World Series, tied at 2, 7th inning. Major League Baseball International bringing you Game 3 of the 2000 Subway World Series, with the Yankees leading the series 2 games to none, and the game tied at 2-2. Frank Robinson in charge of meting out discipline in Major League Baseball. As we said, a fine rendered earlier today against Roger Clemens, undisclosed amount for the incident in Game 2.
Hall of Famer Frank Robinson. Yeah, we've talked about in mentioning Paul O'Neill and Tino Martinez, we've talked about the old war horses. Well, Dennis Cook can kind of fall into that category too. His season was not a real good one for him, but if you look at what he's done in postseason, 2 2/3 this year in his 5 games in postseason. And in 1997, he was 13 2/3 innings for the Florida Marlins in postseason, did not give up a run.
He is a specialist. Derek Jeter's on at first. Cook is brought in to get left-handed hitters out. Here's a left-handed hitter he's trying to get. David Justice, who hit .306 against lefties during the regular season. Dennis Cook takes him on here in a 2-2 game with 2 away. Lob toss over to get Jeter back.
Well, in the first 2 ball games, O'Neill, Justice, and Martinez, the 3 left-handers, were 9 for 25 against the Met left-handed pitching.
A very strong average for left-handed batters against left-handed pitchers. Another throw over. Jeter not with a very big lead over there. Todd Zeile playing off the bag, and the left-hander on the mound. Justice had the RBI with a double in the 3rd inning. 1 for 2 and a walk in the game. Mets coming back to tie it up in the 6th inning. They've had a lead 1-0 on Ventura's earlier homer. Then the Yankees went up 2-1. Boy, that's close to a ball. Ooh. The players are convinced that the umpires are not going to call a balk in the World Series.
Well, they figure if they're not going to call one on Andy Pettitte, who is very borderline with his move, they're not going to call one on anybody. Because if they call one on Dennis Cook, they're going to have to call it on Andy Pettitte. Look at that front leg. When he lifts it up, does it cross the plane of the pitching rubber? Does the foot go behind that? If it does, he has to go to the plate.
And did he hit him on the knee? I think may have been on that protective guard he's got on that right leg. So Dennis Cook has hit David Justice. Second time he has been hit in this series. And there are 2 on.
Well, certainly not what Bobby Valentine wanted, because now the next hitter, Bernie Williams, is a switch hitter. Well, that caught him up on top of the leg. And now Dennis Cook is going to have to go against Bernie Williams, who will now switch over and hit from the right side.
Left-hander Glendon Rush gets up again. Now, the Mets did not have anybody warming up after Cook came into the game. And Bernie Williams, a switch hitter.
Well, and again, the Yankees get that situation going with 2 out.
Williams, 289 off left-handers, 315 off right-handers. Looking for his first hit. It would be a big one. 0 for 3 in the game, 0 for 10 in the series. He's got Jeter on at second base, Justice on at first. Kirk Wendell responsible for the lead runner.
Boy, he wasn't happy coming out after walking Jeter. He wasn't happy at walking Jeter.
Williams is 3 for 15 against Cook, with 2 home runs off him in his career. One-oh count on Bernie Williams. Throttle back on that one off speed pitch, 1-1.
Now this is that situation, Gary. If the Yankees were to score, especially after the Mets didn't score with bases loaded and nobody out, you talk about deflating your ball club. This would be a big one. Good pitch by Dennis Cook. He fooled Bernie Williams on that.
Williams, great clutch hitter, 320 during the season with runners in scoring position. Piazza stops that pitch that was down low, 2-1. Another major moment in this game. Tied at 2-2. Rick Reed started just hoping, as is Valentine, that his bullpen now can hold him down. Joe Torre, the ever effervescent, on the bench. Cook with a 2-1 delivery. Williams takes it and it's outside. 3-1.
Good patience, good eye, just off the plate.
Williams is going to get a pitch to hit. Here it comes. On a 3-1 count. Runners at first and second. Dennis Cook with the hut. Martinez on deck. Wants this out. And he got the strike. 3-2. Now the runners will go. 3-2 down here in the 7th inning.
Dave, Bernie Williams has not been on the same page as Jeff Kellogg, the home plate umpire. A lot of those strikes are pretty good pitches. He thinks they're up just a little bit.
Jeter, good speed at second. Justice slower, the runner at first. Williams again steps out. Here's a look to second base. Nobody over there for a throw. Time to get to this 3-2 pitch. Runners going. 3-2. Williams struck him out. So Cook comes on, hits the batter, and then strikes out Bernie Williams. 0 for 4 in the game, 0 for 11 in the series. And the Yankees have now left 8 on base in this game, and 6 of them in scoring position. All the tension you'd want in a World Series game right here. 7th inning stretch time. The fans up. 2-2 ball game. Both teams have come back from being behind.
Boy, good pitch. Good breaking ball. Bernie Williams swings over it. He's having a tough World Series. 0 for 11. And then El Duque in the 6th inning gets a strikeout of Jay Payton on a slider. Fastball, he throws it by Mike Borden, and then gets the pinch hitter Darrell Hamilton on a ground ball to short, a force out at second base. What a job by El Duque with the bases loaded and nobody out.
Now El Duque back to work. 3 walks, 11 strikeouts in this game. He's facing Perez at the top of the order. Reached on a walk his last time up, is 0 for 2. In at third base, Scott Brocious, in case he tries to bunt his way on. 1-1. El Duque joins a list of 4 other pitchers born in Cuba who've been in the World Series. Camilo Pascual with Minnesota, Mike Cuellar 3 times with Baltimore, Louis Tiant with Boston, Livan Hernandez, his half-brother, with Florida, and Orlando Hernandez. He showed bunt, pulled it back. Pretty good lineup right there. If you had that for starting rotation, Pascual, Cuellar, Tiant, and the 2 Hernandezes, you'd be in pretty good shape.
Pretty good rotation with some varying styles too. Had the screwball of Cuellar, the corkscrew motion of Louis Tiant.
2-ball, 1 strike count to Perez, leading it off here in the 7th. Towards left field, in the gap, Justice. 1 away.
You know, the other thing that's impressive about Orlando Hernandez in his postseason, in the 9 postseason starts prior to tonight, not only has he gone 8-0, we've told you about that. There's a fastball up, a good swing that time by Timo Perez. But in those 9 starts, he's gone 7 or more innings. So in those starts, he's given Joe Torre the quality that he wants out of that starting pitcher.
Now Edgardo Alfonzo. He's been a victim in this game of 2 strikeouts and a pop out, 0 for 3, including 1 big strikeout in that 5th inning when the Mets had a couple of base runners on and Alfonzo was down swinging. The third, Brocious, a backhander and a short hop. And a good stretch by Tino Martinez, 2 down.
It was a story Joe Torre told us about Orlando Hernandez. In his first postseason start, he got him in the division series or the championship series because they swept the division series. So it had been 16 days before he'd even pitched. And he saw him at breakfast, and he was over helping some people at a table, setting up the table, helping them with their breakfast. And he said, I don't know if he's going to win the game, but he sure is relaxed.
And he is that. 118 pitches thrown, which isn't bad here in the 7th inning. Breaking ball. That one missed outside Mike Piazza.
Yeah, a lot of those pitches the last 2 innings, too.
Piazza kicked it off in the 6th inning with a double and would score the tying run on Todd Zeal's 2-bagger. 2 down here. 1-0 delivery by Hernandez. Good high inside fastball. 1-1. Hernandez has worked 8 innings in postseason games on 3 separate occasions, including this season against Seattle. He went 8 innings, getting a win, giving up a run on 6 hits. He's in the 7th inning of this one. El Duque with a 1-1. Piazza wanting long ball, popped it up. First base, Martinez. And El Duque comes on and retires the side in order, and it only took him 9 pitches. 7 innings complete. Game 3, 2-2. Yankees trying to take a 3-0 lead. This ball game, of course, going around the world, along with our broadcast here, NHK from Japan, on hand here at Shea Stadium, as they've joined us continually in a tour of Major League Baseball going there right after the World Series almost. ITV, Korea, and Germany behind them from Premier World. They believe too, see? That's a whole lot of broadcasters here. ESPN International in Latin America, Televisa with Mexico. Dino Martinez up. Dennis Cook stays on for the Mets. And a pitcher's taken inside for a ball. Continuing our look here, Venezuela on hand, Tel Aviv, and Panama, Televisor Nacional. In the second row, second tier there. Great to have all of them on hand, and for us to be here. Pitch is taken inside for a ball. And the Dominican Republic, Deportes El Encambre on hand here. Hey guys.
Hey, the best thing about all that is everybody's up and running.
You got it. Hey, there's not a space here that hasn't been taken by fans or people working the game. Jammed in here for this game 3. Dino Martinez with a 2-0 count on him. And Martinez takes it way inside, 3-0. El Duque hanging in. He's been the lone Yankee pitcher. Mets have had Reed, Wendell, and Cook. Wendell 2/3 of an inning, gave up a walk and struck out 2. Dino Martinez trying to get on here in the 8th inning with a leadoff walk with a 3-0 count. Cook wants no part of that, but you're going to have to throw him something to hit here. He's going to come get him. Cook with his 3-0 delivery, and he missed. The leadoff man is on in the 8th inning of this 2-2 game.
Well, you start looking down the lineup. If you're Bobby Valentine, you look over at that Yankee bench. You have Posada, O'Neill, Brocious, then the pitcher spot. John Franco starts to get loose. Now he throws left-handed, obviously, but he has a little screwball, which is effective against right-handed hitters. So that is a choice of Valentine. Posada's a switch hitter. He's up there now. Then O'Neill, the lefty.
El Duque, I tell you, see a ball fire or what? You wouldn't know he was a starting pitcher. Use your head. Use your head. Most starting pitchers are just flat face, no comment, sit on the bench and stare ahead. El Duque's up and down the dugout, talking to people, celebrating, complaining, angry at himself at times if he thinks he made a mistake.
And again, we have that situation with National League play, the pitcher spot. You wouldn't have to worry about that if you had the DH. You wouldn't have to worry about when he comes up, who you might have to hit for.
Here comes Dave Wallace, the pitching coach. They were just stalling for time here while John Franco is getting warmed up in the bullpen, and there's the call. So Dennis Cook is going to come out of there, having worked just a third of an inning. He didn't give up a hit. He struck out a batter and walked a batter and hit a batter. So Cook is done, and the Mets will go to their 4th pitcher of the ball game. New York-born John Franco in a 2-2 game. Bobby Valentine, the manager of the Mets, going to his 4th pitcher. 2 right-handers and 2 consecutive left-handers as 40-year-old John Franco comes on.
Well, he didn't feel comfortable with the way Dennis Cook was throwing. We talked about Franco has that screwball, that off-speed pitch that moves away from right-handers, so he'll be able to go against the righty, the switch hitter, Jorge Posada. Interesting, between Wendell and Cook, the 2 relievers that came out of the bullpen, 6 batters have come to the plate. There hasn't been a ball put in play. 3 strikeouts, a walk, couple of walks, and a hit batter.
Obviously, 1 run may be enough for either team as we are in the 8th inning of a 2-2 game. Lee Mazzilli, first base coach, talking to the runner Martinez, and here's Jorge Posada.
Then what do you do if you're Joe Torre? Jorge Posada, 28 home runs, 86 RBIs on the season, but you have an opportunity to advance the runner at first base. Do you sacrifice the guy who does have some power?
Mets don't think so. They're staying back. And Jorge Posada takes the pitch for a strike. Posada during the regular season did not have a sacrifice bunt. Generally, if that happens during the year, you try and get somebody to bunt in the postseason. As we saw Todd Zeile try earlier, it gets kind of ugly.
There's no sense asking somebody to do something that they can't do, and they don't get asked to do very often.
Another strike in the inside corner. He's come in with a couple of fastballs on him.
You know what's exciting for John Franco is as much excitement as he had finally getting into a World Series game at the age of 40, 17 years in the big leagues at Yankee Stadium. Pitching here at Shea has to even be more special.
In front of the home crowd in a World Series for the first time for John Franco. 2-strike count on Posada. Heat again down to third. Robin Ventura, Alfonso to Zeal, and a fine play by a 6-time Gold Glover at third.
Yeah, they call that around the horn. Look at this shot by Posada and the nice soft backhand play by Robin Ventura. Perfect feed onto Alfonso, and he makes it look easy.
So Franco comes on and gets the double play. There are now 2 down. And O'Neill 2 for 3, double, triple, and an RBI in the game. And a fastball is right there.
Well, Franco's come on and been throwing strikes.
O'Neill's now hit successfully in 7 consecutive games. The triple he got first of his postseason career, and a first one he's had since July of '99. It's Glenn Allen Hill getting a bat. Outside corner strike, 0-2.
Think the crowd will get pumped up if Franco gets O'Neill?
You think Franco's not trying to say, if I want in the 9th? Oh-2 delivery. O'Neill up the middle, and he's got a base hit right off the mound. 3-hit ball game for Paul O'Neill. 3 for 4, 7 for 12 in the World Series.
Well, 2 straight games now. Paul O'Neill has had 3-hit games. He was 3 for 4 in game 2. He just reaches out. He knows with 2 strikes he's just trying to make contact. Got it past Franco and just past the diving Mike Bordick.
Now Joe Torre is forcing the issue right here. After that base hit by O'Neill, Brocious is due up and Hill has been announced as the pinch hitter. The reason is that Hill, coming up here against Franco, is a long ball threat. And for Bobby Valentine, it's to let Franco stay on when Hill is 6 for 12 with 3 home runs off John Franco.
Well, he will, because no one's warming in that Met bullpen. It is quiet.
He's seen this guy before.
I know this guy. The uniform doesn't surprise me. That doesn't change anything. She read that statistic too.
Just remember there were 6 other times that Franco got the out, right? Glenn Allen Hill, 2 down, runner at first base. Outside ball 1. So Scott Brocious out of the ball game, and Hill on as the pinch hitter. And practicing throwing his bat, Orlando Hernandez. 1-0 delivery. Hill swings at that screwball down and away. You can't hit Franco if you chase that pitch, and Hill knows that better than anyone. Dennis Cook responsible for the walk that started the inning, but Franco got him out of that with a double play. 1-1 delivery. Hill, right center field. They weren't playing him there. Perez with speed gets there. No runs, a base hit. 1 left on. Lots of emotion that's got to be kept under control as we go to the bottom of the 8th in game 3. 2-2. Shea Stadium, Game 3 of the 2000 World Series. It's 11:45 at night here in New York. A very late start, 8:30 Eastern time for this game. Luis Sojo has come into the ball game to play third. Brocious out as he was pinch hit for it. Orlando Hernandez has gone the distance. 3 walks and 11 strikeouts, ties a Yankee World Series record set by Bob Turley in 1956 against the Brooklyn Dodgers. He had 11 Ks
in that last Subway Series, 1956.
Robin Ventura. Ventura, the home run in the second inning that gave the Mets a 1-0 lead for a moment. Justice got an RBI in the third, and O'Neill got one in the fourth to give the Yankees a 2-1 lead. Ventura taps it foul. The Mets came back in the sixth and tied it on a Zeal double.
Yeah, and keep in mind that fastball out over the plate came to Ventura after Hernandez had struck out the side in the first inning.
Third career postseason home run, and the second he's had this postseason. 0-2 delivery to him. Down and away. Tell you, if you went back and looked at Orlando Hernandez pitching in the first inning, compared it to that at bat, same thing. He's right on the money. New Yankee record, 12 Ks.
Well, all of a sudden now he's retired 7 straight. That fastball had some sink to it, moving away from Ventura. After he got out of that bases loaded jam, he went back out in the 7th inning and had a nice easy 9-pitch 1-2-3 inning.
Todd Zeal, RBI double, came in the 6th inning. He has struck out twice. 5 for 12 in this series. 2-7-0 for the Yankees, 2-6-0 for the Mets. We'll be right back here with you tomorrow night for Game 4. No matter what happens, they'll be Game 4. Bobby Jones, the right-hander for the Mets, and Denny Nagel, the left-hander. There he is, scheduled to start. With the announcement made yesterday after his manager Joe Torre had held off on that announcement for days, with a lot of people, including us, believing David Cone might start. There's David in the bullpen. But as Tommy said earlier, Torre finally said, I had to go with my mind and not my heart.
And David Cone accepted it as we would expect, professionally.
2-1. We're closing in on that single game strikeout mark in World Series history. Combined 23 strikeouts so far in this game for the pitchers. The record is 25. Zeal laid on a heater. 2-2.
Well, we talked about Orlando's half-brother Levon.
Won a game 2-1. He went 8 innings in that game back on July 7th, giving up just 1 run, 5 hits. He only struck out 4 in that game, walked 2 in winning over the Mets. Here's the 2-2 delivery. 3-2. .130 pitches thrown in the ball game by Orlando Hernandez so far. 1 down, nobody on. 3-2 delivery. Zeal to short. Jeter off his glove. Bernie Williams in center. And that'll be a 1-out single for Zeal, so he's 2 for 4.
Well, Todd Zeal just continues to have good at-bats. Solid swing on a fastball to get it past Derek Jeter. This is one of those innings, again, that is a little different when you're in the National League city. The first hitter due up for the Yankees next inning is Orlando Hernandez. So Joe Torre would like to get Hernandez to complete this inning. So he'll be done for the evening. He can start things with a pinch hitter. If he has to bring a relief pitcher in, then he would have to pinch hit for that relief pitcher, and he'd use up another pitcher. So he's hoping right now that El Duque can get him through this inning.
As all managers say, it is harder to manage in the National League because you have to make those kinds of decisions all year long. The American League, you don't. There's a lot more just sitting, waiting. The only decision you make is on when to take your pitcher out. But it has nothing to do with the pitcher hitting because they don't. One down, Benny Agbayani. Agbayani 0 for 2 and a walk. Zeal's the base runner at first. Agbayani, you see those fine postseason numbers. 333 has hit successfully in 11 in a row, but not tonight. And that one misses outside, ball 1. Both ballparks, Shea Stadium and Yankee Stadium, are pitchers' ballparks. They are both fair yards. It's when you hit a home run in either of these ballparks, generally you got to hit the ball pretty hard unless you pull it in Yankee Stadium to right field.
Yeah, you have to earn it.
So pitchers have an advantage compared to other ballparks. Agbayani's got a base hit into the gap. Zeal on the fly. Will they cut it off? They can't. Zeal's being waved home. Relay throw to Jeter. Jeter no play. Mets lead 3-2.
Well, what a big hit for the Mets and for Benny Agbayani. Fastball drifted over the middle of the plate, and he hammered it into left center field. And because it got between the two outfielders, Justice and Bernie Williams, that allowed Todd Zeal, who just has average speed, that allowed him to score. If they're able to cut that ball off, Zeal has to stay at third.
There'll be a pinch runner here. Look at the Mets watching. The hand for Agbayani.
Number 47,
Joe McEwing is the pinch runner at second base for Benny Agbayani.
Well, an awful lot of pitches for Orlando Hernandez. He's closing in on 140. And he made a little bit of a mistake to Agbayani getting that fastball out over the plate.
Now Jay Payton. Payton a chopper. Runner going to third. Good play. Didn't get him. Infield hit. Jay Payton beats it out on Vizcaíno. First and third. One out.
Well, Payton has excellent speed. Once this ball got over the head of Hernandez, you knew he had a shot. Vizcaíno, a little bit of trouble getting it out of his glove, and just that bit of hesitation allowed Payton to beat it out. And so now, with that base hit, going over to third base, the pinch runner, Joe McEwing.
Now, Lenny Harris has come out in the on-deck circle after this.
Good view there. Jay Payton just looking straight ahead, not looking at the ball, seeing where it was, just focusing on where he had to go, first base.
And Joe Torre will come out to get his starter. So Orlando Hernandez, who's never lost in the postseason, 8-0, 2-0 in the World Series, pitched a heck of a game. But he can't win this. He could be non-decision, though, and keep his perfect record. Orlando Hernandez out of the ball game here in the 8th inning with 2 on and 1 down. The drama continues. Game 3 of the 2000 World Series. More to come. Orlando Hernandez giving up less than 2 runs per start in his postseason history. The Mets have been able to generate so far 3 earned runs on 9 hits off him.
That's right, so far, because the men out there on the bases are still his responsibility, and all he can do now is be a cheerleader and look on. And once the announcement was made to bring in the left-hander, Mike Stanton and Bobby Valentine. Then again, pinch hit for Lenny Harris. So it's going to be Bubba Trammell pinch hitting, who had a huge base hit for the Mets. Pinch hit, drove in 2 runs in game 1.
So Lenny Harris never gets to the plate. He is officially in the game, but he's the one who Bubba Trammell is pinch hitting for. There's Harris.
Yeah, once you're officially announced to the umpire and he makes that motion to the scorekeeper, once you're officially in, even though you've never had an appearance, you are now out of the ball game.
Not happy about some maybe not getting in the game. You saw the look on that face. Bubba Trammell against 33-year-old left-hander Mike Stanton, who got the win in game 1. Outside for a ball to Trammell. First and third, 1 out.
Well, we saw Armando Benitez warming up in the bullpen, and I know this is one of those decisions Valentine has said he's going to stick to and bring in his closer, but John Franco came in and did a terrific job last inning.
There's Franco. He could be the winning pitcher in this game. The Mets are able to maintain the lead. Throw to first, runner back. Yankees have not turned a double play in this series yet. They want one right now off the bat of Bubba Trammell to get out of this inning.
This is a big run for the Mets. To take a 2-run lead to the 9th inning makes a world of difference.
And the way this series has gone, it's clear there's never enough in the way of runs. El Duque Orlando Hernandez stays to watch Mike Stanton. 1-0 delivered to Trammell. His foul back. 1-1.
You know, Lenny Harris, we've seen a couple of shots of him. He was one of the more outspoken Mets concerning the whole Roger Clemens bat throwing incident. He said, if that had been me, I'd have charged the mound and kicked as you know what and been tossed out of the ball game.
Mike Piazza has remained calm about it. Clemens watching the whole game from the dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Runners off first and third. Trammell takes a strike. Good pitch by Stanton. He pulled back on that pitch. Trammell 0 for 3 against Stanton in his career. Lenny Harris. Bobby Valentine loves him on the bench. He's a great leader in the clubhouse, even though he's a bench player. One and two, still the count. Jay Payton, single. John Franco hoping for a win now in this game. 1-2 delivery. Should get a run in. Bernie Williams. Mick Ewing tagging. Here comes a throw to the plate. Cut off. And the Mets have a 4-2 lead. RBI for Bubba Trammell.
Well, another good at bat for Bubba Trammell coming off the bench for Bobby Valentine's Mets, and tagged that run onto the line of Orlando Hernandez.
It's not bad, Tommy. He's had 1 at bat and he's got 3 RBIs.
He's becoming the Dusty Rhodes of this Subway Series.
That's getting the job done right there. His job was to get the run in from third. He did on the sac fly, which isn't counted as an at bat. And now Kurt Abbott is pinch hitting for John Franco. Runner at first base still is Jay Payton. Abbott's going to come into the game and play at short for Bordick, who's already been pinch hit for, but Abbott will get an at bat right here. See the numbers on the postseason. 1 for 8. Means Armando Benitez will be coming on in the 9th inning. Abbott takes the off speed pitch for a strike. Bubba Trammell 3 RBIs in this World Series, and in the postseason same number. Mets up 4-2. Stanton with Abbott, who's got power. He was going for a long ball there, fouls it back, strike two.
This is a little bit of that versatility that we've talked about that the Mets have. Being able to pinch hit for a Bordick, but then get Abbott and at bat, and he's a shortstop. He can play short or second. You're still able to use him and get an at bat out of him and still get him out in the field.
Benny Agbayani, big RBI in this inning with a double. 0-2 delivered. Abbott swung on, and a good fastball from Stanton. We go to the 9th inning of Game 3. The Mets have been close before and couldn't get it in Game 1. Armando Benitez blew a. What a beautiful evening here in New York. You look over at Manhattan. Game 3 of the 2000 World Series. Major League Baseball International's presentation of it is being brought to you by MasterCard. Priceless. Can the Mets hang on to a 4-2 lead in the 9th inning? McEwing stays in the game in left field for Agbayani. Abbott at short for Bordick. And on the mound, the man who blew the save in Game 1, Armando Benitez. Franco with a chance to be the winning pitcher.
And Joe Torre goes to his bench. He sends up Chuck Knobloch to pinch hit for the pitcher, Stanton.
Inside corner strike. Benitez was 41 of 46 saves during the regular season. He has blown 4 of the last 6 postseason save chances he's had. 4 to 6, and a base hit by Knobloch. A pinch hit single by Knobloch to lead off the 9th inning.
Well, remember Game 1, what got him in trouble was that good at bat by Paul O'Neill. After seeing 10 pitches, he drew the walk. Then a couple of base hits, one off the bench by Luis Polonia, a veteran who had prepared himself to face Benitez. Vizcaíno stroked one to left, and then Knobloch, the culprit, he hit the sacrifice fly. So it's Knobloch again, only this time sending a line shot up the middle to get things started in the Yankee night.
And here he comes again, Tommy. Luis Polonia, who has repeatedly said, I know my role, hit Benitez. He's going to get another shot at it right here. He's 2 for 3 in the times he's faced Benitez. Runner at first, nobody out. 9th inning. And Polonia first ball hitting to center. Payton. 1 down.
Yeah, you talk about specialization, and Polonia knows that for the most part he's going to be used to pinch hit, but not anywhere pinch hit against Benitez.
There's Canseco. The other thing to remember about Benitez, he has given up 7 home runs in 28 1/3 postseason innings, the most home runs given up by any reliever in postseason history. Derek Jeter, already 2 hits in the game, a walk and a strikeout. Jeter, 1 hit off Benitez, a homer, 1 for 8.
Well, you talk about that long ball that Benitez had trouble with. The Yankees have a couple of guys that can do that. Jeter and then Justice. Of course, Canseco's waiting, but he won't pinch hit for any of these guys coming up now.
0-1 count. Knobloch, the base runner at first. Potential tying run is at the plate here in the 9th for the Yankees. Denny Nagel is going to start tomorrow night. The left-hander, Game 4. Rick Reed, the man who started tonight, now non-decisioned in this game, gave up 2 runs, 6 hits over 6. 1-2.
A little bit of a breaking ball after all the hitters are getting themselves geared for that 96, 97 mile an hour fastball. Jeter really gets himself started and gets that split finger. Bottom fell out of it.
One-two delivery. Foul back. You've got Franco, who's never appeared in a World Series before, with a chance to be the winning pitcher. You've got Bobby Valentine, who has never been in a World Series before this year, with a chance to win his first World Series game. After all those years where he had to look at the numbers every year about how many times he'd managed and never made it. 15 seasons as a manager. Never made it to the postseason until last year. 1-2 to Jeter. Strike three called, and we've just equaled the World Series record of 25 combined strikeouts in a game.
The left fielder, number 28, David Justice.
See, all of a sudden Benitez not just going with the fastball. Got a little movement on that pitch and caught the inside corner.
Two away in the ninth inning. If the Mets can hang on to that lead, they will make this a 2-1 series. There are the 25 strikeouts combined, equaling the number set. October 263, Yankees against the Dodgers. 25 strikeouts tonight. Koufax had 15 of those Ks in that game. Jeter's been a victim twice. David Justice. Ball one. Twenty-seven-year-old Armando Benitez. 1-0 delivered to Justice.
Well, Jay Payton said we're down 2-0, but we're going home. We're going back to our house, and we play pretty well in our house.
14 consecutive World Series wins. A streak on the line here in this ninth inning for the Yankees. One runner goes. Pitches outside. They'll let the runner have second base. Knobloch. The run they're worried about is the one at the plate, getting Justice, because he represents the potential tying run.
I think the other thing that's just absolutely huge here is if they can tag a loss on Orlando Hernandez, a guy who's never been beaten in postseason.
Franco's the pitcher of record for the Mets. Hernandez for the Yankees. 2-1. Down low. 3-ball, 1-strike count on Justice. Justice 0 for 3 lifetime off. Benitez with Bernie Williams waiting on deck.
Why does that man scare me? He's 0 for 11, and if you're Bobby Valentine, you still know what he can do. Bernie Williams.
Tommy, how about his numbers against Benitez? Williams is 6 for 7 with a home run. Better not go there if you're Benitez.
I know Bobby Valentine knows that too.
3-1 delivery. Justice on a broken bat fouls it off. Got around in front of that one. You know, this is the way World Series games are supposed to be. Right down to the final out, final strike. Nail biting, white knuckler. Got a pretty good cut on that. Ball was just down the handle enough so he couldn't get good wood on it.
Yeah, that's where you really want to pitch Justice if you have the kind of fastball that Benitez has. You want to crowd him inside. He likes the pitches out over the plate. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Mets leading 4-2, ninth inning.
Runner at second base. 3-2 to Justice. Justice pops it up. If it's caught, this is a 2-1 series. Alfonso. It is.
Well, they're back in their house, Gary, and they played a ball game tonight where they could have rolled over in that 6th inning when they had that opportunity against Hernandez to score some more runs. They had gotten 1 run, but bases loaded, nobody out. They couldn't get any more. Well, they were able to put a couple on the board in the 8th inning. Benitez came on, was able to nail it down, but I think it's just absolutely huge that they were able to not only beat the Yankees and stop their streak, but beat the streak and stop the streak of El Duque.
And the man who said the Mets would win this World Series before it started, Benny Agbayani. Pepsi play of the game.
Well, he said they'd win it in 5. They could win it now, but it won't be 5. But he came up with a huge base hit fastball, came back over the middle of the plate, drove in Todd Zeile, who had picked up a 1-out single against Hernandez, and Agbayani was able to drill that ball into the gap, and that put the Mets on top. They added another run, a sacrifice fly by the pinch hitter Bubba Trammell.
John Franco wins his first World Series game, and Orlando Hernandez loses his first postseason game. Now is 8-1. Benitez picks up the save after having blown one in game 1. And the Mets, who had a lead, fell behind, got it tied, had to come back, get the win.
Well, our MasterCard priceless moment. It's priceless for John Franco. Talked about all the years, 17 years as a major leaguer. He has the 2nd most number of saves of any pitcher in the history of the game. But now he's a setup man. He's 40 years old. He is our priceless moment.
So this series will be extended by at least 1 more game, and unlike the last 2 World Series wins for the Yankees, there will be no sweep, as their 14 consecutive World Series wins is ended here at Shea Stadium tonight, and the Mets make it a 2-1 series as we tie the record for most combined strikeouts in a World Series game at 25 here tonight. Reed and Hernandez, the 2 starters, piling up most of them. Franco the winner, Hernandez the loser, Benitez the save. 4-9-0 for the Mets and a 2-run win over the Yankees in this Subway Series that is living up to expectations. Game 4 right back with you tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern. It'll be midnight Greenwich Mean Time, as we'll see left-hander Denny Nagel take on right-hander Bobby Jones of the Mets. Hope you'll join us again tomorrow night for that one. The way this is going, it's worth getting up early or staying up late.
And you know what? All of a sudden, a little more pressure put on the shoulders of Denny Nagel, who gets the call to start that game 4.
Joe Torre making that decision yesterday and announcing it late last night. Subway Series hats that look a lot like trains. And the fans may have had to stay here till after midnight to see it, but it was worthwhile. Rick Reed, the starter, non-decisions. El Duque taking the loss. El Duque, 4 runs, 9 hits over 7 1/3 innings, 12 strikeouts and 3 walks in the ball game. And for both Yankee and Met fans in this game, there was a lot to be tense about. The Mets had the early 1-0 lead. El Duque looked like he was just going to shut the Mets down. Yankees came up with big hits from their veterans, Paul O'Neill and David Justice in this game, but would not be enough. Mets battled back, 2 runs, picked up in the 8th to win it. So the series is now 2-1 in favor of the Yankees. For Tommy Hutton, Gary Thorne. See ya.